Joining me now to preview results coming from Affirm is Matt Tuttle, CEO and CIO of Tuttle Capital Management. Matt, it's good to see you this morning. You say in terms of Affirm, the way you should look at it is this is a check on the consumer. Do you still see it that way?
I do. And Bloomberg actually came out with an article on this morning, kind of talking about the economy as like a Jenga game. I think you've got this massive dichotomy between the haves and the have-nots. And I would be very, very cautious betting on something that's tied to kind of the lower end consumer, because I think they are hurting. And a key kind of function of buy now, pay later is the pay later part. If they can't pay later, that becomes a big, big problem.
Okay, so yeah, you make a good point about if they can't pay later, but so far when we see overall the health of the consumer is overall looks good. Now I know we continue to have this conversation about the K-shaped economy, so maybe a certain spectrum of the group is helping to keep the entire consumer balance sheet overall in check. What does Affirm's trends tell you overall about the true health of the consumer? Because look, the stock has had a pretty solid performance year to date. It is up double digits, almost around the same performance as the S&P 500 this year.
Yeah, I mean, the stock has done great. I think they've got a massive headwind because they're considered a meme stock. And when the retail guys get on it, they're going to drive it up. I mean, we did a 2X on Affirm because it's a meme stock. So it's got those headwinds. It's got the deals with Amazon and Shopify that, make it powerful. But again, I think things are just going to get worse for the lower end consumer. We'll see what they say in their numbers and in what trends they're seeing. But, you kind of you look at what's going on out there and you just wonder, how is the lower end consumer, how are they going to afford all of this? And yeah, I just think this is such a target-rich environment with other places to invest. I'd just be really careful that on anything that's tied to, the lower-end consumer.
Okay, I hear your points. So here's what the street's looking for EPS to come in 11 cents per share, which would be down from last quarter, but up from a year ago. Revenue is expected to top 880 million there. Let me ask you this. How vulnerable do you think, given the meme stock status, how vulnerable do you think Affirm is, and what would it take for you to stay bullish?
So I think it's very tied to what's going on with the meme stocks. And at some point, we're due for a correction. The momentum stocks are going to get really crushed. I mean, every time that happens, like what was it, Tuesday? All right, here's a top. And then we get 2 days in a row of the market coming back. So, but at some point, these meme stocks are going to sell off. They're going to sell off hard. And, a stock like this that doesn't really have any ties to AI infrastructure is going to get hit harder than some of the other kind of meme names, we would think.
Okay. And then let me ask you this. You mentioned the Shopify and Amazon partnership. How critical are those to Affirm?
Massive. I mean, that's one of, if not the only reason that this is considered a meme stock. I mean, if they weren't tied to something like, and it really, I mean, Amazon's the 800-pound gorilla here. If they weren't tied to someone like an Amazon, I mean, this thing would probably be trading at $1. So I think that is huge. And not that I expect anything to happen, but, because I think Amazon loves the whole idea of buy now, pay later. But if anything were to happen with that, I mean, that would be massive. Again, I don't think anything will, because I think buy now, pay later is important to Amazon as well.
Okay, all right, Matt, great conversation here. Quick, if you have any quick final thoughts about what to expect going into Affirm's results.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything will come out that'll be a surprise. What I want to see is what they're saying about the lower end consumer. What are they seeing? Are they seeing the same thing that I'm seeing, which would again be, provide caution, but are they seeing a rosy picture? I want to hear about it.
All right, great stuff. That's Matt Tuttle, CEO and CIO of Tuttle Capital Management. Thank you for the setup going into Affirm's results.